Hey, you! Ronald! I've just got one thing to say to you. You're fired!
Huh? What's happening? Oh, good morning, Mr. Potter, sir. What's with this all of a sudden? I don't understand what's going on, sir.
There was a huge mistake done in the Woods Company project, and it's your fault. I've already checked this out with the department manager, Mr. Gray, and something needs to be done about it. I'm taking care of the matter, as you're the one who's responsible for this mess. From today, you're not to come into the office. You've been officially fired.
Why are you firing me for? What did I do? Okay, but even though you've said that a couple of times already, I don't quite understand why this is happening. Can I explain what happened so that I can understand your decision as to why you're doing this?
I don't want to hear any of your excuses, Ronald. I'll send all the stuff that you've left on your desk later in the day. There's no need for you to pick it up. You're not to come here again.
Please don't do anything to the personal belongings on my desk. Not until I know what's going on.
Oh, so you want to play hardball, huh? You know I can play that game too. Let's just throw all your things into the garbage, shall we? Don't even think about coming by this office ever again. You've been forbidden to enter the building. Nobody wants to see your face around here again.
But sir, I don't understand why this decision has been made. But fine, I won't step a foot in the office again. I'll do as you say, sir. Hey, Melissa, look, something bad has happened and I really need to talk to you about it. Have you got some time right now to talk? I could really use your advice right now.
Ronald, are you okay? What's going on? Did something happen?
Yeah, it's not good. I've got no idea what I did. I just got a message from Mr. Potter. It was during the day and I was minding my own business, and then this. He told me that the company just suddenly decided to fire me, so he told me he was dealing with my firing.
Excuse me? What the heck? Are you saying you just got fired? Why are you even being fired in the first place? Like why now? At this time of day?
Well, if I say it how it exactly happened, it went like this. I got a message from Mr. Potter, my manager. He said that there was a mistake in the Woods Company project. He then said that he had just checked it over with Mr. Gray and that it fell on my shoulders, and that it was all my fault and that I'm not to come back to the office. That's the conversation I had with Mr. Potter. I have absolutely no idea what's going on.
Okay now, just hang on a second. But isn't Mr. Gray the one who makes all these decisions, not Mr. Potter? I don't understand why Mr. Gray isn't the one talking to you about what happened.
I'm curious about that too. That's why I wanted to message you about it to see what you thought. Unless if he wanted Mr. Potter to deal with this situation, it really should be Mr. Gray who reported to me about it, not a person below him. I don't get it. I guess he's your father and all, so I thought he would deal with it.
I have no idea, Ronald. No matter what way you think about it, he can't just possibly fire you without probable cause. Or at least explain himself.
I was actually planning to call Mr. Gray to talk about it to him directly. But he seemed to have turned off his phone, so the call isn't going through.
Apparently, last night he slept a lot for the first time in a long time because he said he'd turn off his phone. Well, surely he's awake right now, but I wonder if his phone is still turned off and he's forgotten to turn it back on.
Oh, is that what you think has happened? You might be onto something there.
Yeah, just hang on a minute there, Ronald. I'll listen to what he has to say on the matter. Just give me a few minutes and I'll come back.
I'm sorry about all of this, Melissa, but thank you for your help so far. I really appreciate it.
Hey, Ronald, I am sorry to have kept you waiting. I hope I wasn't away for long.
You're fine. It's only been about 10 minutes. So were you able to get anything out of him? What happened?
So, he told me that he has no recollection of any interaction with Mr. Potter regarding the Woods Company project. He said that he wouldn't let anyone do something like that while he's in his current position. It's something he wouldn't do in the first place. He would have come to you if there were any issues.
Is that right? That makes sense. I just don't understand what Mr. Potter's doing by messaging me that I'm fired.
Yeah, so that's what my father has to say about that. He seems very confused by the situation as well. Ronald, are you able to come by the house right now?
Right now? What for? What else have I done wrong?
Nothing, but I think maybe it's to discuss what's going on with Mr. Potter. I don't think it's something my father wants to talk about over a message. He said that if we could, we should discuss things face to face and talk over dinner. Also, he said the president of the company will be attending as well.
I'm sorry, what? Even the president of the company? This has got to be something really bad, right? If he's gotten involved. But would it be okay for my sudden interruption, though? I don't want to disturb if they're discussing important work-related matters.
Don't worry about that. But if you're worried about the food situation, it's okay, as I was originally planning on having food delivered today. So feel free to come over if you'd like. I'll see you later, okay? But it sounds like my father wants to eat and have a drink with his future son, Ronald. So you can chill and talk to my father. I'm sure he'll listen to you.
Oh, really? I can't actually believe that. But yes, I'll see you in a bit for dinner. It'll be nice to have a drink with your father. If that's what you want me to do, I'll come over and bother your family.
Of course. We want you to be here. Take care getting over here. I'll see you soon.
Hey, Ronald, I need your attention right now. Where are tomorrow's meeting materials that were supposed to be on your desk? I swear they were put down here. Without the materials, the meeting can't go ahead. This is urgent. Hurry up and tell me where they are. Just because you don't work here anymore doesn't mean you can just ignore my messages.
Hey, Melissa. I wanted to thank you so much for your advice and support yesterday. I really appreciate it. I'm really glad I was able to talk to your father and the president of the company.
No, thank you for coming over and talking with him. They very much enjoyed your company.
Even so, thank you for inviting me. I never expected something like this to happen behind all the office crap that goes on.
Right, yeah. I'm quite surprised by how they interact as well. It's much more chill than an office building.
Yeah, they're very concerned about the situation, though. If that's the case, I'll wait and see about what Mr. Potter does. I'll try not to react to anything he's doing until the situation changes. For the meantime, none of it matters to me right now.
Exactly! That's a good way to put it. You don't need to worry about what Mr. Potter does until the situation unfolds.
Yeah, I know it's a little early, but I'm going to take a shower and go to bed. This whole thing has been quite exhausting. Tell your father I said hello, and thank you for talking things out with me the other night.
Fair enough. I would too in your situation. Of course I'll tell him you said that. Good night. I hope you have a good night's sleep.
Thank you, Melissa. Sweet dreams to you.
Okay. Ronald, I'm sick of not getting a reply out of you. The materials that I asked for yesterday weren't completed. Now I've got to go to the Woods Company and tell them how sorry we are that everything has fallen behind. It's all your fault, Ronald. What are you thinking messing around like this? Ronald, answer me, man. What does it mean that you've been absent without as much as a peep out of you since yesterday, huh? You're gonna be in some deep trouble if you're not careful.
Day 3.
Ronald, this is the third time I'm contacting you and you've not answered me. Aren't you coming in today? You can't just be absent without letting anyone know about it, right? That's what I'm gonna ask. The proposal I told you to make for Jones Company. What's going on with that? I can't get into your work laptop because I haven't got a clue what the password is. So what is it? Seriously, man. What are you planning on doing about all of this?
Hey, Ronald. How have you been since all the crap went down about your work? Have there been any more developments on that? Has Mr. Potter gotten back to you with anything? What has he been saying?
Hi. Oh, yes, he's been saying quite a bit. He's been sending so many messages every day over the past few days. And that same person just turned around and said that I'm absent without getting permission. I don't understand. He's the one that said I'm fired the other day.
Come to think of it, he said Mr. Potter sent a message saying that to you the other day. I might as well tell you, Mr. Potter has a really bad drinking habit.
Huh? What are you talking about? Are you saying he's an alcoholic?
Well, you know how if you drink too much alcohol, your memory starts to get worse over time, right?
Yes, I guess I've been told that before. A colleague who's accompanied me on a night out once said something like that can happen. It was a Saturday that I received his message about getting fired, so I thought he might have been working on his day off or something. He got all worked up about the Woods Company project I was working on and how I made some sort of mistake. Then he told me I was fired. But he must have still been drunk, and now he can't remember that he actually said that and thinks I'm not showing up for work. Oh my god, it's all falling into place now.
Yeah, my father has had it with Mr. Potter and that he can't handle his nonsense.
I guess if I were to look back through my message history, I can see when he was drunk or not. Maybe it's just something I didn't notice?
I suppose so. Even though he's in the same generation as my father, he still remains only a manager. You'd think he'd be in a higher job position by now.
Really? I suppose his drinking problem's holding him back and creating so many problems.
Ronald, this is getting beyond a joke. Reply to your messages, man. What's the password for your work laptop? The department manager just asked me for the progress on another company's proposal. And it's stuck on your laptop. Hurry up and tell me the password. This is urgent. I'm sick of you no replying. Get to work on time and get on with the project. Stop being so irresponsible. Hey, you! Ronald! Stop ignoring your supervisor. There's another company that's needing their proposal looked over. What the heck do you think you're doing by not replying and not showing up to work? You're going to regret ignoring me. All the companies that work for us instructed you to do everything for them. Even though I'm the one who submitted it under my name instead of yours, this is going to go very bad if things continue like this. Ronald! Answer me! What's wrong with you, boy? Hey! Ronald! For goodness sake! I'm here to tell you that the General Affairs Department are going to take away your work laptop tomorrow. All the documents I had to do for all these companies are also on your laptop. This is ridiculous. It's like talking to a wall. Oh yes. Isn't there also data on there that deals with the internal stuff at work? If I don't do something about it, it's going to be all my fault, even though it's all your work I'm trying to get. Hurry up and tell me the password. I'm begging you to tell me. Ronald, you've not replied to a single message for a whole week. Cut the crap and reply to me right now. I'm not going to stop sending you messages until you've replied to me. My performance rating will go down if you don't show up to work. I'll come over to your house and drag you here if I must do that so I don't lose my job.
Good morning, Mr. Potter. It's quite early to be messaging me now, isn't it?
Excuse me? What do you mean by that? It's a normal time for people to be awake. You're finally replying to me now, huh? What took you so long? Don't you realize how many days you've missed? Why aren't you showing up? You're making me so furious to the point that I'm gonna pop so many blood vessels. And our department manager as well.
Even so, all the companies you were mentioning, when you think about it, you were forcing me to do a lot of the work, weren't you?
What the heck are you talking about, boy? It's normal for the boss to assign the work to his workers, isn't it? That's how it works here. You weren't absent from work without anybody's permission, and you were slacking off. I was the one that had to finish the work for you, so I sent the proposals to the companies that were requesting them. You need to get to work right now. If you get to work in the next 30 minutes, then I won't fire you and I'll forgive you for not showing up. That's what Mr. Gray has been saying to me as well.
Oh, is that so, Mr. Potter? Don't you remember saying to me that I'm fired and that I don't need to come into the office anymore?
I never said that to you. Why would I say that to you? What are you talking about, man?
Maybe it's because you were so drunk at the time you were messaging that to me and you were just saying what your heart desired?
I haven't got a clue what you're on about. I don't remember that at all. What are you saying?
Well, it's too late to take it all back now. I would go back and check your chat history if I were you. That might jog your memory. Actually, you might want to go back even before that conversation was had. You do realize that Mr. Gray and I quit our jobs on the same day over 10 days ago, right?
Huh? What's that supposed to mean? You both quit your jobs? And you didn't say anything to me about it? Not just who you quit, but Mr. Gray as well? No way! That can't be true!
The general manager decided to start his own business, and he wanted us to join him in starting a new company. So we ended up quitting our jobs together. I assume you didn't notice that happening?
I thought he was just going on a business trip and then he'd be back soon to do his duties.
There was an announcement almost a month ago through the internal chats and through the department's morning meeting. After talking it through with Mr. Gray, he gave all my portfolios that I had for all the other companies we've worked for to another colleague. Honestly, it would be an unreasonable thing to say to someone to get back to work now when I chose to quit my job now. Wouldn't it, Mr. Potter? I wouldn't have been so bothered about it if I hadn't quit my job, but I have, and now I'm an outsider discussing confidential information with an ex-coworker of mine. That's not the best look, Mr. Potter.
But it's only because you never replied to me and it took you so long to do so. Why?
Yes, it did. I thought that you would notice eventually what's going on, but another employee had to make it more obvious to you. I couldn't bear to be so persistent, so I sent a reply like this to get back at you for the way you've been treating me.
This can't be happening right now. Are you serious? Okay. You need to tell me who each case was assigned to right now. I'm supposed to be the creator, so I'd be in big trouble if someone submitted documents without my permission or not checking them with me first.
Huh? I haven't got a clue what you're talking about, Mr. Potter. What do you mean? Isn't it no longer necessary for you to be the creator of those documents, Mr. Potter?
Huh? What do you mean by that? Why not? I don't get it. What's going on here?
Didn't anyone tell you that the company is filing for bankruptcy?
Are you kidding me? Bankruptcy? Is this a joke?
It's no joke, sir. I received a message from a former colleague saying that they had talked about it in this morning's meeting. I never thought something like this would happen to the company, so I thought the best idea was to quit before things got worse. I suppose you haven't got to work yet, so you don't know the details?
I'm on my way to work right now.
Oh, is that so? Well, I guess you didn't get over your habit of being late to work then?
Now, just rewind back a little bit. I don't get why the company's filing for bankruptcy. Does that mean that I'm unemployed from today onwards until I get another job?
Well, I guess so. If you're fine with that, I guess you've got no choice but to be employed now.
But what am I supposed to do now? I've been at this company for so long already. This has got to be the worst thing to happen to me. How am I supposed to get a job after all this happening?
I don't know. You've got to figure it out. I'm going to leave you to it. Please excuse me. After this, Mr. Potter apparently went home instead of going to work. Of course, it seems that an explanation of what happened was given in some form at a later date. There was talking about arranging a new job. Mr. Potter was so drunk that he didn't listen to everything. By the way, he's single, in his 50s, his parents have passed away, he has no siblings or family, so unfortunately not a lot going for him. He started drinking alcohol all day long thinking about what he should do with his life. One day, he was rushed to the hospital due to acute alcohol poisoning. But there was no one to take care of him, feed him, shelter him, so he didn't recover very well. The other day, he was released from the hospital and into a specialized facility. I do feel quite sorry for the guy, but I just wish he would have nothing to do with me ever again.
Hey Kate, is your shift over yet? It's already 4 in the afternoon. Hurry back and start on the housework.
Sorry, Beth. I ended up having to do some overtime today. I need to go to the supermarket to pick up some things and then I'll head home.
You're going to be even later?
I guess so. I need to buy ingredients for dinner tonight.
You really can't do anything right, can you? Just make something from whatever is left at home.
Didn't you say that you wanted fish for dinner tonight? We don't have any at home.
That was yesterday. I don't feel like fish anymore.
Oh, is that so? Well, we still need some basic things like milk, so I'd better still stop by.
Fine. But hurry it up. I've left you half of the housework for you to do. Also, don't forget to finish doing the laundry. Oh, and the bathroom still needs cleaning too.
Okay, I got it.
I loaded the washing machine for you, even though that's supposed to be your job.
Sorry about that. Thanks for doing it for me.
I really thought you were someone who would have a better handle on things. Otherwise, I wouldn't have agreed with you working part-time. If you're going to leave housework for me, I'll forbid you from working.
I'll be careful from now on. I'll make sure to finish all the cleaning before I leave for work.
Remember that you're only living here because you're married to my son. Making sure to do things ahead of time. If I need to tell you off for something, then it's already too late.
Okay, I understand.
Also, I've been thinking about something recently. Don't you think the clothes you've been wearing out are a bit too extreme? They stand out too much.
What do you mean by that? They're just normal clothes you'd find or see anywhere.
You were wearing a skirt the other day, when you were going out somewhere with my son. You know, the frilly one.
Oh, that one. Yeah, I remember.
What are you doing wearing something that's going to get attention from other men? You're a married woman. You shouldn't be wearing things that show so much of your legs.
But that skirt goes down past my knees.
It doesn't matter if it was past your knees, your legs were still showing, weren't they? And the shade of light pink, how vulgar. I didn't really think about it like that.
I apologize. I'll be more careful.
You need to make yourself look more like a proper woman now that you're married. The same goes for your hair and makeup. You look like you're going to work at a strip club.
That's going too far, you know?
If you don't want to be thought of in that way, then wear more appropriate clothes. You shouldn't even bother with makeup anymore. It's not like anyone is looking at you anyway.
The clothes I wear are nothing like that. They're not anywhere near as revealing or outlandish.
That's not the point that I'm trying to make. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Every time I talk to you, the conversation ends up in some weird place.
Sorry.
Stop stressing me out so much. Just hurry back and finish the housework. Hey, when are you two coming back home?
My husband and I only left the house not too long ago. We'll probably be back quite late tonight. It's the weekend, so we'll be out for dinner too.
Come back right now.
Why do we need to come back?
Something terrible has happened to my daughter.
What's happened to Jessie?
Jessie is being abused by her in-laws.
By her in-laws, you say? Well, that's worrying to hear.
She says that from morning to night her mother-in-law harasses her. She's even making her look at the entire household on her own. They don't even treat her as a member of the family. The entire family went on a trip and left her at home by herself. She couldn't handle it anymore, so she just called me before to discuss it and ask for help.
I see. It sounds like she's in a pretty bad situation.
I wanted to call her mother-in-law and give her a piece of my mind, but Jessie told me that it wasn't necessary. I wondered what I should do.
Well, any situation with in-laws is pretty delicate. You don't want to make anything worse for her. It's probably better to just not do anything at all.
But I can't just sit here and keep my mouth shut. She's there all alone with people who don't treat her right. Apparently, the mother-in-law even called her a completely useless wife. Can you believe it? After all the hard work I put in raising my daughter, and she gets called that?
Is that so?
So you guys will come back now, right? I think this is something that we all need to talk about. Can you tell my son about his sister's situation too?
I've been telling him about it as we've been talking.
But Jessie isn't at our house right now, is she?
She's not, but so what?
Well, she can't really do anything about this then, even if we do come back now.
So, we're still going out as planned and we'll come back later.
What? He doesn't care about his little sister? Kate, you're also living with your in-laws just like her, so you do understand, don't you?
I sure can.
I knew you would. See? It's at times like this that men are completely useless. Jessie says her husband is pretending not to notice anything is going on.
It must be really hard if she isn't getting any support from him or anyone else.
And Jessie is such an outstanding girl. I wonder what it is that her in-laws find irritating about her. I'd be nothing but grateful if I have a daughter-in-law like Jessie.
Well, the thing there is, you are Jessie's biological mother after all.
And so what? Are you trying to say there's something wrong with her?
No, not at all. But if you think about it, she is still the daughter-in-law to this scenario. So you can never guess how her mother-in-law would view her. Of course, I don't have any kids of my own, so there's probably something I don't quite understand.
If you don't understand, then just don't say anything at all. But aren't you lucky that you have someone like me as your mother-in-law? You can do whatever you want, and I even let you and my son go out together on the weekends. Poor Jessie, she got really unlucky with her mother-in-law. Do you think it's better for me to pick her up and bring her back to our house?
Jessie's feelings and what she wants to do are still the most important thing here. You should contact her and see what she wants to do before you go get her.
You're right, she can only really rely on us. I need to make sure I don't act too rash and make things worse. But this really does annoy me. What kind of person would harass their daughter-in-law like that?
That's true. I completely agree with you there.
Okay, I'm going to give Jessie another call. She must be pretty down in the dumps right now, so I'll do my best to find a way to convince her to come stay with us.
Okay, got it.
And make sure to support her when she does come to stay, okay? I want her to be able to relax and recover without having to worry about doing anything. Even if she offers to help herself, make sure you don't let her do anything. Got it?
I got it. Hey, can you just confirm something real quick? So you think that if a mother-in-law is harassing her daughter-in-law, then that's a situation to get out of as soon as possible, right?
Obviously. Look, I get that sometimes living with other people can be difficult, but that's not reason to resort to abuse and harassment.
Okay, thanks. I just wanted to make sure. I'll take your words to heart. Good morning, Kate. Oh, Jessie, morning. What's up? So you're at your parents' house right now, right? Yep, I am. I had heard that you moved out. Is that because I moved back in? I'm really sorry. You're living together with your husband, but I moved back. I must really be in the way. It can't be very comfortable for you with me here. Oh, no, that's not the case at all. It's not? Then why did you leave? My mom was also super surprised that you decided to pack up and leave out of nowhere. I ran away from an abusive mother-in-law just like you did. We're in the same situation. Don't worry, it wasn't your fault. An abusive mother-in-law? You're talking about my mom right now, aren't you? Yes. It's hard to talk about it since she's your mother, but I reached my limit with her. When she was telling me about your situation with your mother-in-law, she even expressed her disgust with someone who would harass the daughter-in-law like that for no reason. The whole time, I couldn't help but think how ironic it was, seeing as she was doing the exact same thing. I discussed it with my husband and decided to move out. I'm sorry you got the wrong idea, but it really had nothing to do with you. So that's what happened. And my mom was so angry at my own mother-in-law, talking bad about her constantly. To think that she was doing the same things that she was criticizing. That's why I don't plan on going back and living with her. But don't worry about it. She treats you well. So you can stay there until things quiet down on your end. I can't take it easy though. If my own mother is harassing you, what kind of things was she doing to you? I know that you probably don't want to talk about it too much, but please let me know. I don't think you really want to hear it though. No, it's totally okay. Please. Well, it'll be a pretty long conversation, so how about I give you a call instead? That's fine by me. Mom isn't home right now either, so please tell me everything you can.
Kate, what on earth did you do? Why did you tell those lies to my daughter?
What are you talking about? I have no idea what you mean.
You told her that I was bullying you?
I did?
So you admit it. Why would you do something like that? Jessie is back home living with us because of exactly that reason. Don't you have any consideration for those around you? And you told her that I'm the reason you left and went back to live with your parents?
Of course I did. That's the truth. I also couldn't stand being harassed by the mother-in-law anymore and left, just like Jessie. But that was the best thing to do, right? You also said that it's not something to put up with, remember?
I was talking about Jessie at that time. It had nothing to do with you.
A conversation about terrible mother-in-law definitely has something to do with me. I had to listen to your complaints and grumbling every single day.
Complaints from me? Like what? I never did anything like that.
Even though we were living in the same house, you left all of the housework up to me. Isn't that exactly the same as what Jessie had to do?
I was doing the housework too.
Do you really think that taking some clothes out of the dryer every now and then really counts as a housework?
That's not all I did. I cooked too.
You kept throwing away all of the food that I cooked. You'd say it was disgusting and dump all kinds of spices on it before throwing it into the trash. That doesn't sound like cooking to me.
I help with cleaning though.
But you would only ever clean your own room. Apart from that, you left me to clean the rest of the entire house. Waking up early in the morning to clean the bathrooms, vacuum the house, clean everything else before work, I had to do that. But what did? You started complaining that the vacuum was too noisy and affecting your sleep in the morning. So then I could only do that on days I didn't have work. And let's not forget doing the laundry, making food for everyone, and washing the dishes before leaving. So what is it that you're trying to say you helped out with?
A daughter-in-law living in her husband's house is supposed to do all the housework. That's an obvious fact.
I bet Jessie's mother-in-law thinks the exact same thing. Aren't you acting just like her?
I don't act like you're some stranger. I treat you as part of the family.
Remember that time you went on vacation with some friends? When you came back, I was the only one you didn't buy a souvenir for.
Well, I just happened to forget at that time.
Even when you go out for a little bit and come back with some snacks or something, you always seem to forget me then too. Like a few days ago when you bought everyone cake except me. What was all that about then?
Those things are always just for my husband and son who are always working so hard.
Just sounds like an excuse to me. You even called me useless before too. And the last time we went on a family vacation, you were the only one complaining that I was coming too. Everything is exactly the same as what happened to Jessie.
I'm not doing anything from ill will. It's not buying or anything like that with Jessie's mother-in-law was doing.
If that's the case, then why did you never say or do this sort of thing in front of your husband or son? It's always only when we're alone or through text messages.
Is that really what happened?
That's exactly what happened. Have you just happened to forget only the bad things that you did? But don't worry too much. I told my husband about it all, and I showed him all the text conversations between us.
What? You told my son all that too?
Of course I did. He's my husband.
He hasn't said anything or told me off for anything I may have done to you.
That's because I asked him not to say anything to you. We were all living together, so I wanted to try my best and get along with you as well as I possibly could. But when you started complaining about what was happening to Jessie, I woke up. I realized that there really is such a thing as wasted effort and time. You raised yourself on a pedestal and started criticizing Jessie's mother-in-law for what she was doing. That was the time I realized that I couldn't take it anymore.
Kate, listen to me. I honestly wasn't trying to do anything of that on purpose. I just wanted you to be a good wife, so I was trying to give you some advice to help.
As I said, Jessie's mother-in-law probably thought the same thing too. What I'm trying to say is that you're in no position to criticize anybody. You need to look at yourself in the mirror and sort yourself out first.
I'm sorry. I apologize for everything I've done up until now. So won't you come back and live with us again?
No. There's no way I'm living with you again. You were the one who asked me to come and move in with you in the first place. I don't need any more needless suffering that I can easily avoid.
Okay, I got it. I won't mention you moving back in again. But can you at least forgive me? My husband and daughter really went off at me for what I did. They even told me to get out of the house.
What goes around comes around, right?
But I've realized that what I was doing was wrong. I promise to be a good mother-in-law to you from now on. So please, can you forgive me somehow?
Is that something you'd say in front of your daughter? Could you ask her to forgive her mother-in-law for what she put her through?
I really think the degree of what we did is different.
Oh, if you're still able to say something like that, that means you haven't changed at all. I've got no reason to come to your aid. After that, my mother-in-law was brought to my house by her husband and daughter in order to apologize to me. Of course I didn't forgive her, but she promised to leave me alone and not talk to me except for important family occasions. And I told them that kicking her out of the house wasn't something that I wanted to happen. She got a good talking to from her husband and her daughter, so I'm sure the same thing won't happen again. After her actions were revealed to everyone, my mother-in-law really changed. She started to do all of the housework that I had previously done on her own. It might have been better for me to say something sooner. But since it was my husband's family home, I didn't really want to rock the boat and make a big fuss. In a way, I'm also partially to blame for putting up with it for no reason. In any case, I have no intention of protecting her feelings anymore. For example, even if we meet face to face, I'm not going to pretend or do anything for her sake. Jessie also moved out from her husband's house in the same way I did. We met up and talked about how happy we were that we both chose the right path for us. Both her and her father really helped me by taking my side against my mother-in-law, so I have nothing but feelings of gratitude towards them. From now on, I'm going to put all my effort into relationships with people who really care about me and treat me right.